We've all experienced those moments where a passing comment, a whispered rumor, or a fleeting opinion completely shifts our perspective. These small, seemingly insignificant words can have a profound impact, shaping the course of our relationships in ways we often don't anticipate. Yet, we often underestimate the power our words and actions hold. Today, let's explore just how deeply these influences can affect us and uncover some habits that might seem trivial but can erode the trust and respect others have for us. Drawing inspiration from the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, we will not only identify these habits, but also arm ourselves with the tools needed to transform them. The Stoics teach us to live with integrity and mindfulness, qualities that can elevate both our personal and professional lives to a level far beyond the ordinary. By the end of our conversation, you'll see your daily interactions in a whole new light, and perhaps discover a renewed sense of how to nurture respect and trust in every step you take. One simple shift in perspective can change the way you relate to others. Stick with me as we explore these habits and learn how to replace them with actions that lead to a more fulfilling and respected life. Habit 1. Gossiping. Gossip might seem like harmless chatter, but it carries a weight far heavier than we often realize. What begins as a casual conversation can spiral into rumors, misunderstandings, and the erosion of trust. Every time we share personal or unverified information about others, we don't just pass along a story. We have the potential to reshape how people perceive each other. The Stoic perspective teaches us that focusing on what we can control, our own actions, is key to a virtuous life. Gossiping is the opposite of this. It involves us in things that are beyond our control, distracting us from focusing on our own moral development. Marcus Aurelius once said, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" This is especially true for gossip, which often stems from discontent or judgment, and in turn, causes far more harm than the original cause could ever justify. Seneca also warned of the dangers of getting tangled up in the affairs of others, reminding us that true tranquility comes from wisdom, self-control, and avoiding the superficial narratives of others. Every conversation is an opportunity to practice virtue. Instead of gossiping, we should aim to speak with kindness, constructiveness, and integrity. By adopting the Stoic principle of listening more than we speak, remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We can ensure that our words contribute positively to the conversation. Reducing our involvement in gossip not only prevents harm, but it aligns us with a higher standard of living, thoughtful, principled, and impactful. Habit 2. Being unreliable. This habit is a silent killer of relationships. It might not seem like a big deal to cancel plans once in a while or miss a deadline here and there, but when these actions stack up, they paint a picture of someone who can't be relied upon. Over time, this inconsistency erodes trust, something that can have lasting consequences, both personally and professionally. From a Stoic standpoint, reliability is a cornerstone of virtue. Stoics believe that our actions should always align with our words, reflecting both our internal moral state and our commitment to those around us. Marcus Aurelius stressed the importance of fulfilling our duties, viewing reliability as essential for maintaining harmony and respect within our communities. Being unreliable often results from poor time management, overcommitment, or a failure to prioritize what really matters, issues that are completely within our control. Epicurus reminds us that we must focus on what we can control. When we fail to meet commitments, we're neglecting our ability to manage the most important elements of our lives, our time, energy, and focus. By becoming more reliable, by managing our obligations with discipline and mindfulness, we not only build trust with others, but also live in alignment with our values, creating stronger, more meaningful relationships along the way. In summary, small habits like gossiping and being unreliable may seem like minor faults, but they have the potential to break down the trust and respect we work so hard to build. By embracing Stoic principles like integrity, mindfulness, and consistency, we can transform our daily interactions into powerful acts of virtue. In doing so, we'll create a life that's not only respected by others, but deeply fulfilling to ourselves. We are often faced with situations that are beyond our control, and yet, we have the power to take responsibility for the areas we can influence. The philosophy of accepting what cannot be changed, while taking full ownership of what we can teaches us profound wisdom in cultivating reliability. To truly be reliable, we must recognize the impact of our unreliability and make conscious efforts to correct our behaviors. This involves a commitment to self-reflection, a Stoic practice that encourages us to look within and regularly evaluate our actions, motivations, and their alignment with our values and commitments to others. Self-reflection can help us pinpoint why we may fall into the trap of unreliability. For instance, if we notice that we often overcommit ourselves, we must learn to say no when necessary and better understand our own capabilities and limitations. By practicing self-discipline, we develop the ability to make wiser decisions, and as a result, we become more reliable. Reliability is a core aspect of our social duties, as outlined by Stoic thinkers like Seneca, who emphasized the interconnectedness of humanity. Our relationships, whether personal or professional, thrive on mutual respect, and reliability is an essential foundation for trust. When we uphold our promises and commitments, we honor the time and trust that others invest in us. This contributes to a more harmonious and functional society, as our actions reflect our understanding of our moral responsibilities. Breaking free from the habit of unreliability requires a balanced approach, one that blends wisdom with self-management and ethical commitment. It challenges us to reflect deeply on our habits and to align our actions with our core ethical beliefs. By becoming more reliable, we not only enhance our own lives but also uplift the lives of those around us, fostering stronger, more trusting relationships built on mutual respect and integrity. Another habit that often undermines our relationships is interrupting others. While it may seem like a minor act in the moment, interrupting can have lasting consequences on the quality of our interactions. It disrupts the flow of conversation, reflects poorly on our respect for others, and can diminish the value of what people have to share. From a Stoic perspective, the virtue of self-control is key in managing our impulses to speak. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, we must listen more than we speak, recognizing that learning from others requires patience, attentiveness, and respect. Interrupting signals a disregard for the speaker's right to share their thoughts without disruption and shows a lack of self-control. By practicing silence and restraint, we contribute to more respectful, meaningful exchanges. As Marcus Aurelius advised, we should only speak if our words are true, necessary, and kind. This guideline can help us pause and reflect before we speak, ensuring our words enhance the conversation rather than derail it. Overcoming the habit of interrupting is a practice of mindfulness, being aware of our impulses and choosing to manage them thoughtfully. By reflecting on our conversations, we can assess whether we've been respectful listeners or if we've been too quick to interject. This practice not only improves our communication, but strengthens our character by aligning our actions with Stoic values of virtue and respect. Finally, constant complaining is a subtle but pervasive habit that can negatively affect our mindset and the atmosphere around us. While it might feel justified at times, excessive complaining shifts our focus away from gratitude and problem-solving, ultimately contributing to a negative environment. By practicing gratitude and focusing on the positive aspects of our lives, we can break free from the cycle of complaining and foster a more hopeful, solution-oriented approach to life's challenges. We often fall into the trap of complaining, not only highlighting the negatives, but also reinforcing a sense of helplessness and dissatisfaction. This habitual focus on what's wrong can cloud our judgment, making it harder to recognize and appreciate the positives that surround us. But here's the thing, this cycle doesn't have to control us. Stoicism, with its emphasis on resilience and perspective, offers valuable tools to break free from constant complaining. According to Stoics, our power lies in what we can control, and everything else is beyond our influence. Rather than viewing challenges as setbacks or complaints waiting to happen, we can choose to see them as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. The ancient philosopher Epictetus famously said that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. So by changing how we perceive life's obstacles, we can reduce the urge to complain and, in turn, boost our satisfaction with life. One powerful antidote to complaining is gratitude. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, frequently reminded himself to focus on what he had, not what he lacked. When we acknowledge the good things in our lives, no matter how small, they shift our focus from constant criticism to appreciation. This change in perspective can transform not just our mindset, but our entire approach to life's challenges. Complaining doesn't only affect us, it affects everyone around us. It creates an environment of negativity that can spread like wildfire, infecting the spirit of those we interact with. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, believed in the power of speech and urged us to use our words to uplift, rather than to tear down. By cultivating speech that is thoughtful and positive, we not only help ourselves but also foster healthier relationships. Stoicism teaches us emotional resilience and fortitude, enabling us to endure hardship with grace. It encourages us to seek fulfillment from within, rather than relying on external circumstances to dictate our happiness. When we adopt a Stoic mindset, we begin to see life's struggles as integral parts of a larger narrative of personal growth, rather than as unwelcome burdens. So, how can we begin to reduce our complaining in a practical way? It starts with awareness. The next time we find ourselves complaining, we can pause, recognize it, and choose a more constructive response. This could mean reframing a situation to see the positives or focusing on solutions rather than problems. Stoicism also encourages us to reflect daily. By looking back on our day and identifying moments where we could have reacted more positively, we actively strengthen our ability to choose gratitude over grievance. By reducing complaints, we don't just improve our well-being, we also enhance the quality of our interactions and relationships. A Stoic approach aligns us with a philosophy that values resilience, perspective, and virtue over the fleeting satisfaction of voicing discontent. It gives us the tools to build a more contented life, one that's rooted in gratitude, self-discipline, and a proactive approach to life's inevitable challenges. In closing, the habits we've explored are more than mere inconveniences. They are obstacles to living a life of integrity and purpose. Stoicism doesn't just teach us what to avoid, it inspires us to actively shape our lives with wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. When we replace negative habits with positive actions, we not only become better individuals, but we also create a better world around us. Think of this as your journey toward mastering yourself. Every challenge is an opportunity to practice virtue. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. So, when tempted to gossip, choose dignity. When faced with unreliability, choose commitment. When you feel the urge to interrupt, choose patience. And when you're on the brink of complaining, choose gratitude. This approach will change not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. It will lead you to a deeper satisfaction rooted in living a life that's true to your values, not your impulses. And that's a powerful way to live. Apply these insights, reflect on them, and watch as the quality of your interactions and the respect you earn transforms. Stay strong, stay stoic, and remember, the power to change your life is in your hands.